Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something truly mind-bending. I'm talking about a historical and linguistic mystery that literally spans thousands of years. We're going to be weaving together ancient spiritual traditions, royal genealogies, math, and, crazy enough, cutting-edge AI. It's really a story about how we communicate and, ultimately, where we all come from. Let's get right into it.
So, right off the bat, I've got a question for you. What exactly connects Lord Buddha, a 16th century Sikh guru, and a 2021 artificial intelligence project? I know, it sounds like the setup to a really weird riddle, right? But as we peel back the layers of our source material today, you're going to see that this is actually an incredible linguistic detective story. Just to make sense of this massive web, here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll look at the Palimukhi nexus. Then, reincarnation and royal genealogies. Third, merging Pali and Gurmukhi. Fourth, tracing Sharda and Aramaic. And finally, the EK universal thread.
All right, let's kick things off with part 1, the Palimukhi nexus defining the AI and language synthesis.
So picture this. The year is 2021. This is the exact moment a really unique linguistic breakthrough happens. Using Google AI, an inventor named Punya Pranava Pasumarty created something totally new, which actually got published in Omniglot for world languages. And this recent technological leap is the anchor that's going to pull millennia of history right into the modern era for us.
You're probably wondering, what did he actually invent? Well, it's called Palimukhi. Essentially, it's a unique synthesis of the ancient Pali language perfectly integrated with the Gurmukhi script, and it was all made possible through that modern Google AI.
The contrast here is just wild. On one hand, you've got Pali, which is incredibly ancient. It's deeply rooted as the spoken language of early Buddhism. And on the other hand, you have Gurmukhi, a highly formalized script established much later by the Sikh Gurus. Gurmukhi bridges that massive gap. It takes an ancient spoken tradition and expresses it through a structured, formalized script. But as you'll see, the connection between these two goes way, way deeper than just some modern software.
Which brings us to part 2, reincarnation and royal genealogies, tracing the Ikshvaku lineage. If we trace this back, the source material maps out a fascinating web rooted in the ancient Ikshvaku genealogies. According to these traditions, figures like Lord Buddha, Raja Nimi, and Raja Janak are all closely linked and related. It's a lineage stretching all the way from the ancient era right through the 6th century BCE with Lord Buddha, and all the way up to the 16th century CE with the second Sikh Guru, Shri Guru Angad Dev Ji. Now, how exactly are they linked across thousands of years? Well, the texts point to what are known as Incarnation and Reincarnation Systems. In these theological views, the second Sikh Guru, Shri Guru Angad Dev Ji, is actually considered to be Raja Janak in his past lives. This implies a continuous, unbroken spiritual thread connecting the royal Ikshvaku line, early Buddhism, and the formation of Sikhism. Just to be clear, we're simply exploring how the source material structures these fascinating theological beliefs.
And this brilliant quote illustrates why that modern AI project is such a big deal. The text explicitly states that using Gurmukhi as script for Palimukhi seems to give greater respect to Gurmukhi script by second Sikh Guru Shri Guru Angad Dev Ji. Think about that for a second. Because of this deep genealogical and spiritual link between Buddha, Raja Janak, and Guru Angad Dev Ji, merging Pali, the language of Buddhism, and Gurmukhi, the script of the Guru, is viewed as this profound reunion of a shared spiritual heritage.
Moving right along to part 3, merging Pali and Gurmukhi, the linguistic crossover. So it's not just a spiritual connection we're talking about here. They actually have incredibly deep shared cultural and structural foundations. Lord Buddha, Buddhism, the Pali language, and Gurmukhi all share common historical glues. For instance, they're intrinsically linked through the Bikrami calendar and the Bharthari Sphota grammar. Because they share these foundational origins, the creation of the Palimukhi alphabet wasn't just some random mashup. It was a completely natural, logical synthesis.
Chronologically, this builds up in such a fascinating way. Step 1, you have the ancient Pali spoken tradition. Then, step 2, centuries later, the formalization of the Gurmukhi script. And finally, step 3, the modern Palimukhi AI synthesis, bridging the two together. It's just a beautiful evolution, right? From breath and sound, to ink on paper, to a digital synthesis.
All right, let's broaden the scope in part 4, tracing Sharda and Aramaic, broadening the language family tree. As we dig deeper, the texts reveal that Palimukhi is closely related and interlinked to Kashmiri Sharda Sanskrit, as well as Aramaic-derived languages.
This is absolutely huge because it means the linguistic streams of the Indian subcontinent are sharing structural similarities and roots with languages far, far beyond their immediate geographic borders. Take Aramaic, for instance. The sources define it as an ancient language dealing with the pure flow of sounds, something often associated with a cappella traditions of devotion. It's famous for being the language spoken by Jesus, yet the texts argue that it shares a fundamental underlying connection to the linguistic streams of the Indian subcontinent, and that includes both Gurmukhi and Kashmiri Sharda Sanskrit. What this ultimately gives us is a massive, interconnected network of shared linguistic traits. We're literally looking at common parent, child, and sister alphabets that link Sanskrit, Hebrew, Shamukhi, and Aramaic. It's this incredible bridge between Eastern and Western ancient traditions, which strongly suggests that human language has a much more unified origin than we usually give it credit for.
And that brings us to our final section, Part 5, the EK Universal Thread, Unifying Global Identity.
The source material introduces this really fascinating concept called philselfology, and right at the very core of this research is EK. EK is simply the numeral 1, but, it's so much more than just a number. It represents I, the self-identity. The texts position this specific concept of EK as the foundational origin of both Western and Eastern languages. It is literally the essential starting point for all global languages.
What's truly wild is how perfectly EK bridges two completely different worlds. Over in Western theory, this concept aligns with the Euler identity in mathematics, which basically brings math and music streams directly into language. It also lines up perfectly with Noam Chomsky's theory of universal grammar. Meanwhile, in Eastern tradition, EK is the ultimate symbol of spiritual unity, particularly within Gurmukhi. It is the exact same fundamental truth, just expressed through completely different cultural lenses.
So why does all this matter to us right now? Well, the authors of the text point to some very real-world applications for this philselfology research. By understanding this EK root, this universal grammar, we can vastly improve bilingual education. It directly supports initiatives like the Global Seal of Biliteracy and Avant assessments. It basically proves that learning languages isn't just about memorizing random vocabulary, it's about tapping into the foundational math, music, and identity that all of us share as humans. Which leads me to leave you with this final, provocative thought. If our most advanced artificial intelligence is now being used to uncover and synthesize the shared roots of ancient alphabets, proving that Pali, Gurmukhi, Kashmiri Sharda, and Aramaic all echo the exact same universal ik, or identity, what does that mean for the unified future of humanity? As we build entirely new technologies, it really seems like they are pointing us right back to how deeply connected we've been all along. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep questioning the connections around you.